the inauguration of 28 member local partners whose duties would be to generate data, provide humanitarian interventions through the sponsorship of Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and other local and international agencies.
Part of the focus of the word on localization is that to give adequate recognition to the local actors.
The charge from government is simple. Do not betray the trust bestowed on you by Nigerians. Ensure interventions go around all geopolitical zones and maintain integrity in gathering data.
Localization is key to delivering humanitarian response and ensuring appropriate and strategic exit on the humanitarian response from both international partners and donors.
Which resonates with the federal government's interest and commitment to localization agenda that will ensure effective and efficient humanitarian response in Nigeria.
The inauguration of the local partners is to take delivery of Nigerian problems and solutions by local bodies. In Abuja, Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
The National Broadcasting Commission has slammed a 5 million naira fine on a radio station based in Lagos, Nigeria Info 99.3 FM, for unprofessional conduct and breach of public broadcasting rules. In a statement, NBC says Nigeria Info 99.3 FM made available its platform for Dr. Melafia Obadiah to make unverifiable and inciting view that could encourage or incite crime and lead to public disorder in breach of several sections of the National Broadcasting Code. The fine, the NBC says, is to serve as a deterrent to broadcast stations that are quick to provide platforms for subversive rhetorics and exposition of unverifiable claims. It says NBC will not hesitate to suspend the broadcasting license of any station that continues to breach the code. Meanwhile, the board of the National Broadcasting Commission says the only National Broadcast Code recognized in the setting of operating policies and standards for the NBC is the 6th edition of the NBC Code launched in 2019. Elizabeth Omori reports that the chairman of the commission, Ikra Belbis, at a media briefing asserted that any other purported review has no endorsement of the management and therefore cannot be utilized in regulating broadcasting in Nigeria.
The board decried the purported review of some of the sections of the NB Code, which they say is detrimental to professionalism and the creative sector.
The NB Code is a regulatory framework put together jointly by the stakeholders to guide their operations in the industry. It is therefore not a unilateral government instrument and is already covered by law, hence not requiring any further prudential approval.
While calling for urgent attention to the amendments, the NBC says the code review is undertaken every 4 years and involves the Commission and other critical stakeholders in the broadcast industry.
As a board, we have received and taken our time to confide the response of numerous stakeholders, which include activists, legal practitioners, broadcasters, investors, born content creators, copyright experts, and professionals organizations. Most of them have adduced reasonable reasons against the proposed amendments.
Some stakeholders believe that a unilateral amendment to the NB Code may foster loss of confidence and the stability investors enjoy in the broadcast ecosystem. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And Nigerians stranded in Lebanon return home. Details with Ruth in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Hawa. Irregular migration is a global crisis, and Nigerian youths are falling victims of human trafficking and maltreatment through such journeys. While receiving 94 Nigerians stranded in Lebanon at the international wing of the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos, Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, emphasized the dangers of irregular movement, urging Nigerians to desist from such. Imolayo Tokede reports that part of the returnees are some of the Nigerian girls who made an appeal to the federal government in a viral video for assistance to be returned to the country.
Oroluwa Adaja, a 22-year-old national diploma holder, left the shores of Nigeria a year ago to work as a house help in Lebanon with the promise of earning $300 every month.
Every week we used to go to the mountain to walk. So whenever I tell them I'm sick, she had to shout on me and tell me I'm a liar. Then I tell her I want to go back to my country. Then she threw me in the embassy.
Orioluwa's story is not different from the other girls who embarked on this dangerous journey in search of greener pasture.
Before I left Nigeria, I gave my agent 100,000. When I get to the embassy, Lebanon, I give my agent 3 months' salary. So I go to the embassy Lebanon, September 20, and I give, yes.
I was accused of killing. I was jailed for 1 month. Though I'm back with nothing because I don't have money with me. I'm here just to start a new life.
Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, was on ground to receive the returnees alongside other concerned agencies.
Our girls just have to stop going on these journeys. Now, Lebanon has stopped issuing work visas. So by the time this repatriation is done with, we hope that we're not going to have more girls crying on the streets and saying, save us. The government of President Buhari has done enough to bring them back.
Apart from the profiling, the Minister of Social Development is interested in involving them in part of the federal government palliative issues and social development agreement.
The Commission also revealed that the United Arab Emirates have given August 17, 2020 as deadline for irregular migrants to evacuate the country, of which 3 free flights have been arranged for them. More batches of Nigerians stranded in Lebanon are expected to be evacuated in the next couple of days. In Lagos, Imolayo Tokede, NTA News.
And to security, the Nigerian Navy has charged officers of its Western Naval Command to stay committed to the mandate of protecting the nation's maritime environment from all forms of aggression and invasion. The charge was made at a formal ceremony to mark the promotion of 50 officers in Lagos. Lynn Leneke reports.
With the groundbreaking successes achieved through Operation Calm Waters 2, the Nigerian Navy says it is fired up to quash insecurity on the nation's exclusive zone.
A lot of arrests have been made. The waters are increasingly becoming more calm, and the void of illegalities that we used to hear perpetuate or that are prevalent within our waters.
To effectively undertake additional responsibilities that the mission requires, 32 deserving officers were elevated to lieutenant commanders, while 18 officers rose to the rank of lieutenants.
I assure you that we will uphold the tenets of the service and will not disappoint the confidence reposed in us by the Chief of the Naval Staff.
The task before these officers is guaranteeing a conducive maritime environment for legitimate businesses to thrive. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Oladele Daji, implored the officers to regard their new status as a higher call to service.
I urge you to keep on putting in your best to support the operations of the command, and I want to assure you that your welfare and your well-being will equally be taken up by the command.
Shipping of stripes in the Navy is an age-long naval tradition that originated from the Royal Navy and has been adopted by navies of the world. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
And from the Navy, we pause for a break. Nationwide continues with Hawa in Abuja.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC, just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
NTA2 College Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is currently admitting students for its ordinary diploma programs in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. Interested candidates are advised to obtain relevant information concerning eligibility at our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or marketing department of any NTA station nationwide. For further information, contact Assistant Director, Marketing, NTA2 College Jos on 0803-314-4383 or the Academic Office of the College on 0806-980-9807. Announcer, Registrar.
Every year, new sets of Nigerian graduates are released into an oversaturated job market. As a final year student, I can't help but feel very anxious of what the future holds. I think about the pathways that would guarantee my financial independence and how my personal choices will affect my country. Do I join the more than 1.7 million of unemployed and underemployed graduates in Nigeria who are either searching for a job or looking to start their own business? Or do I follow more than 1.2 million Nigerian migrants in diaspora who left the shores of our country in search of a better life? My name is Stacey Ojiwewe, and this is my story of becoming a Nigerian graduate.
Thanks for rejoining us. Now to security matters. Following mass surrender of Boko Haram fighters, the terrorist group has delved into the recruitment of child soldiers. A statement by the Chief Military Public Relations Multinational Joint Task Force, Colonel Timothy Antiga, says the terrorist group is employing minors to resuscitate its declining influence in the Lake Chad Basin. Colonel Antiga advised that minors, youth and parents be mindful of promises of economic prosperity and spiritual growth by the sect. And a general court-martial of the Nigerian Army has sentenced Lance Corporal Abu Babangida Ibrahim to 45 years in prison for the murder of Bello Abdullahi Aliyu, a staff of the World Bank, of the World Health Organization in 2014. Francis Form reports that the president of the General Court-Martial found Lance Corporal Ibrahim guilty on a 4-count charge.
Do you understand this charge against you?
Yes, my lord.
How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, my lord.
The accused soldier, who was deployed to Anka local government area of Zamfara State on the 10th of August 2014 for official duty, was found guilty of murder. The soldier was said to have gone into the residence of one Bello Abdullahi Aliu, a staff of World Health Organization, and murdered him without justification, after which he carted away his Honda Accord car, phone and laptop. While conducting an investigation into the murder, the Department of State Services established through his phone details and tracking that the accused soldier murdered the deceased and converted his phone to his own personal use. When the charges were read to the accused soldier, he pleaded guilty. He was thereafter sentenced to 45 years in prison.
On culpable homicide, not punishable with death, contrary to and punishable under Section 224 of the Penal Code, Cap P3, Laws of the Federation of 2004, is awarded 40 years of imprisonment. Offense of theft contrary to Section 286 of the Penal Code and punishable under Section 287 of the Penal Code, Cap P3, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, is given 5 years imprisonment.
President of the General Court Martial says counts 2 and 4 are to run concurrently, but subject to confirmation by the confirming authority. In Abuja, Franks is from NTA News.
To agriculture now. To further achieve the federal government's aim of exploring agricultural value chain for economic development, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in collaboration with the World Bank, has trained relevant stakeholders in effective communication tools and strategy. Lekon Agbonde has the details of the workshop held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital.
The participants were drawn from 6 states: Cross River, Enugu, Kaduna, Kano, Kogi and Lagos states. The program, under the aegis of Agro-Processing Productivity Enhancement and Livelihood Support, APPEAS, is a 6-year federal government project spearheaded by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with World Bank to galvanize relevant factors as recipes for sustainable national development through agriculture.
Communication is a veritable tool that we have to emphasize to make sure that people are being mentored, trained on how you communicate with one another.
And if you can get your communication right, you will be able to get your project, to be successful, and you can produce results.
Participation is all inclusive. We made sure that we captured all the key staff from the different states that are participating in the project, and also from the National Coordination Office.
Farmers and other actors in the entire agricultural processing line, especially small and medium scale level, are the main target.
How do you extend messages, even in writing? How do you extend messages in body language? So these are all the things that we hope to learn here. It's going to be very interactive, and we hope to learn a lot. The
program is expected to further boost the federal government's policy thrust on food security and exports promotion. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
And the federal government, in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State government, has donated biosecurity materials to veterinary clinics and livestock farmers for disease surveillance in Akwa Ibom State. Woodwork Etim reports that the disease control materials are to ensure that the animals are safe for consumption and to boost their productivity.
It is pursuance of government's drive to boost the nation's economy through agriculture that coordinated infection control practices are critical components of delivering high-quality care for livestock farming in Nigeria. To support this section of agriculture, the Akwa Ibom State government, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, distributed Virucid and other disinfectants to livestock farmers in the state, specifically those in pig and poultry production. Tricycle and motorcycles were also donated to monitoring officers for disease surveillance in communities with difficult terrains.
This tricycle that's been given is to aid in what we do in the field, that is surveillance, and to establish whether those diseases are there or not.
This is an encouraging one. This was put hope back to the farmers that yes, their reports have been taken to the appropriate quarter and they've been rewarded.
The key agricultural stakeholders speak on essence of infection control, biosecurity, biocontainment, and biosafety to the health care of animals.
This
will enhance the health, welfare, productivity, and utility of animals, as well as safety of animal products for human use.
Regional disease surveillance systems enhancement, which is an animal health component of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, is to support farmers that were able to contain disease within the farms.
Livestock farmers were enlightened by veterinary officers on how to keep their animals and birds in best condition. In Uyo, Udwak Etham, NTA News.
From Uyo, we take you to Enugu, where Chineye is on standby with the next set of reports. Hello, Chineye.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Enugu. For effective policing that will ensure nipping in the bud of criminal activities such as kidnapping and armed robbery, traditional rulers have a major role to play. This was the submission of a former Inspector General of Police, Obonna Onovo, while sharing some security tips with traditional rulers from Enugu West Senatorial Zone of Enugu State. Jude Abugu now reports.
These traditional rulers are not only described as the custodians of culture and tradition, but are also seen as the chief security officers of their various communities. That is why the former Inspector General of Police, Obonna Onovo, believes that these royal fathers have a major role to play in community policing, which he said recognizes that the police cannot solve public safety problems alone. Hence the need for collaboration with relevant stakeholders. The state governor, represented by the Commissioner for Chieftaincy Matters, is optimistic that the security tips would go a long way in enhancing the security apparatus in the state, as the traditional rulers are expected to give impetus to the neighborhood watch, vigilante groups, the forest guards, and the police to ensure a safe and peaceful environment.
We assessed and reviewed the pros and cons. And then ultimately, we concluded that these men are royal fathers who are domiciled within our village communities.
Introduced in Nigeria in 2004 with Enugu State as a pilot scheme, community policing has some of its elements as building a strong synergy that makes members of the communities to freely share intelligence information with security officers. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
With the reopening of business and commercial activities in the state after the lockdown, which came with some conditions from the government, it is expected that the compulsory COVID-19 protocols will be enforced during business hours. It is against this background that Comfort Ayim visited GSM Computer Village to ascertain the level of compliance.
GSM Computer Village, located at New Haven, Enugu, known for phone and computer repairs, sale of phones and computer accessories, is one of the business hubs that reopened for commercial activities after the lockdown a few months ago. On lifting the ban during that period, Governor Ugwuani-led administration donated face masks, hand sanitizers, among other items to the traders as a precautionary measure to the pandemic. So far, how are the traders coping with the situation, and what is the volume of sales like?
You can go to any shop, you can see a lot of them carry face masks because Enugu State have provided enough for us. The volume of business is down now because of coronavirus. So we know that everything cannot be like before. It cannot be like before. By the special grace of God, Enugu State is in the very hands of God.
Yes, people complied massively. They complied massively, you know, with the help of the association too, because every day we make sure that, you know, people stay back at home, no shop was open, you know, in fact, they complied massively.
It was also gathered that while the people resume for business at 8 o'clock in the morning and close at 4 p.m. in line with the executive order, one of the major challenges facing the computer village, they say, is lack of parking lots.
Yeah, the major challenge is what the governor has put in place. The governor has promised to build a computer village in Enugu State, a place where we have enough shops and enough parking space, and the project is ongoing right now.
As business activities progresses, though in slow pace, it is the expectation of the traders that the government will bring a lasting solution to the pandemic, why they commend its efforts so far. In Enugu, Comfort Ayim, NTA News.
And that is our bid from here. Hauwa is back to you in Abuja.
Very well, Chineye. And back here, I understand Adamu Sambo is now ready with our earlier introduced report on the inauguration of the new headquarters of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board in Yenagoa.
The iconic 17-story building known as the Nigerian Content Tower, with the full complements of a 10-megawatt gas-powered power plant and 1,000-seater capacity conference center, was inaugurated by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, on behalf of the President. Addressing participants at the ceremony virtually, President Muhammadu Buhari said the completion of the project reflects his administration's infrastructural development drive towards attracting investment, creating jobs, and further enhancing efforts at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
With commissioning of this project, I want to highlight that we have put in place a landmark of reference in the Niger Delta to reflect long-lasting legacies that signpost the years of oil and gas exploitation, and I assure you that there is more to come. I must commend the Nigerian Content Board for the successes recorded in the last 10 years since its formation. The edifice is a befitting birthday gift as you mark your 10th year anniversary as a regulator and developer of local content in the oil and gas industry.
Describing local content as critical in all activities of Nigeria's national life, especially with the prevailing coronavirus pandemic, the President expressed the belief that production and patronage of goods and services locally are part of the surest ways to empower the citizens and give them viable opportunities to excel in their chosen professions and business endeavors.
Local content and self-reliance are the key principles of the recently approved 2.3 trillion Naira National Economic Sustainability Plan. The plan is aimed at the promotion of local production, local services, local innovation, and the use of local materials. It is imperative that we must produce what we eat and produce enough of our requirements and more for export. All these policy directives and programs are also meant to address some of the causative factors of insecurity.
Already, he said, 2 executive orders have been issued relating to enforcing local content in public procurement and contracts towards further replicating the successes being realized in the oil and gas sector. President Buhari congratulated the people of Bayelsa State for being the proud host of the landmark edifice in the heart of the Niger Delta. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And away from oil and gas, Primate Anglican Church of Nigeria, Most Reverend Henry Chukudum, has asked Nigerians to support governments at all levels with prayers for peace, progress and development, especially in the strides towards addressing security challenges. The religious leader was speaking during a visit to Governor Nasir El-Rufai at the Government House in Kaduna. Muhammad Umar Ajingi completes the report.
It is one of the latest in the series of visits by religious leaders to Government House Kaduna to interact with Governor Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai toward sustainable peace in the state. This time around, the religious leaders are not only in Kaduna to talk about peace, but to also unveil some development projects initiated by the Anglican Church of Nigeria. The leader was very clear in his message that nothing can be achieved without peace, and calls for tolerance, dialogue, and harmonious coexistence among Nigerians irrespective of their differences.
We urge everybody to be cautious in what we say, what we do, and what we plan to do. As the scripture tells us, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. We cannot be able to continue reprisals, attacks, revenge, and have peace. No, we have no alternative than to build Nigeria. So let us all build together.
Primate of the Anglican Church of Nigeria told the governor that the church stands for peace and will collaborate with the government in tackling insecurity by seeking God's intervention. Governor Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai says government will not relent in protecting lives and property.
One credit that this government gets from everyone, including even our adversaries, has been our ability to contain these outbreaks and localizing them for management and ensuring that other parts of the state don't go into senseless response to what is happening in one small part of the state.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
And for more on addressing insecurity, let's join Caleb, who is in Jos, for more. Hello, Caleb.
Welcome to Jos. Motorists plying the Shandam-Lafia road will now heave a sigh of relief as the main bridge along the road, which was on the verge of collapse, is being rehabilitated. The member representing Mikang Kwan Pan Shandam in the House of Representatives was at the site of the bridge located at Bakin Kogi and Ningo, the boundary between Plateau, Nasara and Taraba states, to see the level of work done. Yeldek Danladi has details.
Bridge will connect Plateau and Nasarawa state, also serve as a gateway to other states like Taraba, amongst other states in the northeast, had a portion of it washed away by rain, making it difficult for motorists plying the routes. While inspecting the bridge, Comsol Alphonsus Longback expressed satisfaction with the level of work done and appealed for support from the people.
I took it to the floor of the House, and after that I wrote to the Minister of Works and FEMA. To God be the glory, we have seen that they have come to start the work and they are on it.
The people who are beneficiaries of the road, especially motorists, commended the intervention by the member as they can now ply the route with ease.
The people of Shandam, Kwanpan and Mikang, I think we are most happy because before you pass this road, people they so far and where.
This is the only bridge that links our people with other people outside this place. So we thank God for his own effort.
The site engineer expressed commitment towards ensuring that the project is completed within the stipulated time frame.
We stabilize the floor with boulders. At least the border is up to like the depth of about 10 meters deep down the river.
The people said committed to support the member to succeed in the mandate given to him. From Kwampan local government area of Plateau State, Ladi, NTA News.
In an effort to restore peace in southern Kaduna, Operation Safe Haven Sector 7 Command, Fanchan, Kaduna State, has apprehended and recovered firearms from suspected bandits in the area. Saadatu Muhammad Kafa reports.
Southern Kaduna has been in the news of recent times with negative headlines owing to mass killings and destruction of property worth millions of naira. Worried by the instability in the area, the Sector 7 Command of Operation Safe Haven in Cavanchan launched an operation which led to the arrest of bandits, recovering firearms, dangerous weapons and ammunition. The command explained that it will continue to rake every part of the zone to uncover those behind the reckless situation with the view to sanction them appropriately.
Operation Safe Haven will continue to work with the various communities and settlements to stop the cycle of attacks and isolated killings as we strive to ensure that peace is restored in southern Kaduna and environs. We also wish to solicit your support and cooperation, especially in the provision of timely and credible information on the activities of criminals and bandits cohabiting within the people.
An extensive investigation is ongoing to unravel more bandits and their hideouts in the zone. From Cavanchan, Saadatu Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. Hawa, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Caleb. But before we move on, let's go on another break.
She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
It's nice to have you back on Nationwide. The National Orientation Agency and partners are intensifying synergy to promote behavioral change across all strata of the society with the aim of tackling sexual and gender-based violence. At a roundtable on the way forward, Kenneth Nanim reports that there was also call for operationalization of relevant legislation in all states of the Federation to flatten the curve.
Reported cases of sexual abuses and gender-based violence are in the increase, and the issues are receiving global attention. In Nigeria, the National Orientation Agency and partners want victims to speak out and get justice without delay.
Laws are being strengthened. The National Assembly has amended the criminal and penal codes, first of all, to make it more easier to prove cases in court.
We can no longer condone it in our religious places of worship, in our homes, because most times this happens at the family level. Where we find incidents of SGBV, we need to make reports. Where there are children involved especially, we need special care.
To make this work, they are asking for enforcement of relevant laws, review of the criminal justice system, increased advocacy, awareness campaigns, and cooperative initiatives, as well as provision of functional referral centers for support, especially in the rural communities.
The disturbing wave of social and the sexual and the gender-based violence calls for serious concern and the action by both state and the non-state actors.
Look at how everybody has assumed personal responsibility to fight COVID. And so when we assume a personal touch to it, we will indeed be our brother's keeper. When we hear somebody cry, man or woman, we provoke and galvanize action.
Proper funding and capacity building of personnel entrusted with such responsibilities are other areas that need attention.
The pledge of honor made here by participants goes a long way to underscore the points raised here that every citizen of the country has a role to play in addressing the challenges of sexual and gender-based violence in the country. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now to the latest on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 453 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. The new cases recorded from 16 cases indicate that Lagos has the highest number of infections with 113, followed by the Federal Capital Territory with 72 and Plateau 59 cases. Others are Enugu 55 cases, Kaduna 38 cases, Ondo 32, Osun with 26 new cases, while Ebonyi has 20 cases. Ogun has 9 and Delta with 8 new cases. Borno has 7 and Akwa Ibom recording 6 new cases. Oyo State has 5 cases and Bauchi, Kano and Ekiti have 1 case each. Nigeria now has 47,743 confirmed cases, out of which 33,000 943 have been successfully treated and discharged, while 956, unfortunately, have died of the virus. And as the Federal Capital Territory, government makes effort to provide non-pharmaceutical products for schools, resuming to contain the spread of COVID-19, some private organizations are also helping to boost supplies. Abubakar Usman Akwanga witnessed one of such interventions to 7 schools in Abuja.
Since the declaration of 4th August as resumption date for final year students in secondary schools, safety measures against the spread of the virus grabbed stakeholders' attention with concern for increased response capacity. This is why CAS Consult is distributing 3-in-1 protective face masks and taking other infection prevention control measures to support efforts of schools in mitigating the scourge.
Today, CAS Consult Limited joins the global movement to motivate all Nigerians on the need to wear face masks and be protected.
Some schools in the FCT who benefited from the intervention say the products will be deployed to appropriate beneficiaries for their safety and that of the public.
We still need to add all these things to ensure that we have total preventive measures in the school. So it's not going to be diverted in any way.
Community Staff School at Sokoro, we are very grateful for this gesture. It will go a long way in curbing COVID-19.
In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
And still on the coronavirus pandemic, the need for state governments and stakeholders to put in place adequate quality testing facilities and embark on more sensitization of COVID-19 across the country will help flatten the curve of the virus, especially in communities. These were some of the submissions of guests on NTA's program, Good Morning Nigeria, while discussing COVID-19 situation reports in states. Butwa Mila completes the report.
Nigeria has recorded more than 47,000 confirmed cases, and 956 unfortunately have died of the virus. Most of these cases are attributed to non-compliance with safety protocols and guidelines. To slow down the curve and further spread of the virus, Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bakolalong, stressed the need for more testing, proactiveness, and risk communication campaigns across the country.
Federal government and the NCDC to improve on testing capacity for the north, especially when we had a very serious case in Kano. And most of them were going about all the parts of the north. Our case in Plateau came from Kano. And we took a proactive action. And immediately, all we needed was enough testing capacity.
In Oyo State, government is doing all it could, within our best capacity to inform the public. But you see, the tendency is for an individual, although people are now believing that it is no longer an elite disease.
The guest emphasized the need for funding for research into possible vaccine for the virus.
If government can fund this research, it will be beautiful for Nigeria to be able to bring out the first vaccine from Africa.
We have set up teams that interact with them, in some instances visit them, give them medications free of charge, and tell them what to do.
They, however, advocated raising the bar on sensitization and awareness campaigns across the country, but more importantly is the need for attitudinal change by the people. In Abuja, Butwa Miller, NTA News.
With a target to reach areas with difficult terrains and sensitize people on the coronavirus pandemic and adherence to NCDC protocols, the COVID-19 response team in Cross River State was in one of the local government areas. Paul Abel reports that the team called on the people to take full responsibility for their health and distributed face masks. The team also collected some sample for testing.
People of Ibogu community in Biase local government area of Cross River State. The visit by the COVID-19 response team to sensitize them, distribute hand sanitizers and face masks, carry out sample collection and testing, as well as other medical care is one of the best things to happen to them in recent times.
And the people of Ibogo are telling the governor, thank you.
The COVID-19 train moving from one local government area to the other is leaving nothing to chance, and with desired partnership, the team is poised to ensure it plays a pivotal role in the protection of lives of the people.
We are also sensitizing them to use their masks as often as possible. Beyond this, we are also taking samples in this community to see the true picture of what is going on here. So we have persons who are either suspected cases or have one of the signs and symptoms that are associated with COVID-19.
Spoke to them about COVID-19, and we have done carried out some testing.
COVID-19 response team will now beam its searchlight on other local government areas of the state. From Biase local government area of Cross River State, I am Paul Abel, NTA News.
And from Biase, we take you to Yobe, where the state COVID-19 committee has announced the commencement of the coronavirus sample collection and testing in a state-owned molecular lab as an addition for confirming cases of the disease in the state. Chairman of the committee and the state deputy governor revealed this while briefing journalists shortly after the committee's 15th meeting. Yunus Suleiman completes the report.
It appears that Yobe State is winning the battle against COVID-19, as it is among states with least burden of the disease, as latest data obtained from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control showed. The state further intensified its war against the deadly virus when the COVID-19 Committee on Prevention and Control announced the commencement of coronavirus sample collection and testing in the state-owned molecular lab.
Successfully open schools for students at 3 years after our people are preparing for their final exam.
It was gathered that the lab has the capacity of testing 98 COVID-19 samples at a time, with the committee embarking on motorized campaigns and other community-based interventions, intensifies case search, surveillance, as well as contact tracing.
Students of your state are engaged to continue to adapt strictly to the prevention and control measures for COVID-19, such as proper wearing of face masks, especially in crowded locations.
You see, that is why they say we should learn to live with the virus. That means it's a learning process, it's a behavioral thing. So as it is, what the committee has done and will continue doing is to continue to engage with the members of the public, continue sensitization, continue dialogue.
Available data from the state COVID-19 committee also indicated that the molecular lab has so far tested 40 samples, out of which 1 case turned positive, while 43 other samples collected are waiting to be tested. With this development, the committee announced that the total number of COVID-19 cases in Yobe State are 362. Out of the total number, 225 turned out to be negative. 67 confirmed cases recorded with 8 deaths, 2 active cases, and 59 discharges made. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
To other matters now, the Benue state government had placed a ban on the practice of the use of tires by butchers to roast meat, going by the health hazards it poses. How effective has the ban been in the state? Blessing Omeche Ebute takes a look at the hazardous practice and the compliance level by butchers in the state.
Years before now, butchers in Benue State engaged in the practice of using tires to roast animals at abattoirs, a practice medical experts say is hazardous to the human health. In order to reverse this trend, the Benue State House of Assembly in 2017 banned the use of tires and other harmful materials used in roasting animals. Vice Chairman Wurukum Abattoir, Gabriel Oda, says since the ban, the union has put in place stiffer penalties for anyone caught violating the law.
We call the people concerned, the people using tire roasting for us before.
called them, we told them that this is what's on ground. Now the government is coming fully on them. And we also on our own, we made up our mind that whoever is caught with tire will be sent away completely from working for us.
He added that as part of measures to reduce the spread of COVID-19, the union also stepped up sanitary condition of the abattoir. Director Livestock Services, Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Edward Amali says the ministry sends enforcement officers to regularly monitor the activities at the abattoirs.
Ourselves in collaboration with Nasria, the enforcing agents from the federal government, we have worked hand in hand, and we have been making serious effort.
Further said, measures are being taken by the state government in the establishment of a more standard abattoir. In Makudi, Blessing Omecha Ebute, NTA News.
Contact sports considered to conform to COVID-19 preventive measures. The Par 72 Golf Club, often regarded as the most prestigious in the country, is home to the African Golf Tour, professional and lady golfers and junior players as well.
It's not going to be too much of an issue to handle social distancing here, and also, as you can see, a lot of things have been put in place to actually curb the spread of COVID-19 in IBB Golf Club.
During our recent visits to the club, course workers are restoring the fairways and greens to shape. Golfers are all smiles yet again, and another class, often regarded as senior citizens, have the game they love the most right in their hands.
I was very, very fit before the lockdown. But during the lockdown, like most of our colleagues, everybody became something else, pot belly here and there.
COVID-19 put all of us under house arrest, and golf became a major culprit for those of us who are ardent followers of the game. We are relieved today.
Now, the most important part of reopening at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, is the strict compliance with existing protocols on prevention of COVID-19.
If you feature the clubhouse, it's completely shut down. There is no room for drinking or socialization. Once you are done with your game, take your bag, go to your car, drive to your home or wherever you want to go to, but not in the club.
Right? Evidence here at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, is just a flight of 2 players at every game. And also we can see them with their face masks as well as hand sanitizers, social and physical distancing to aid the flattening of the curve. From the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, I'm Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
And next is a quick check on Friday's weather. That's nationwide today. Remember, rape is evil and we must work together to end it. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama. Please protect yourself and others from coronavirus. It is real. Good evening.